Welcome to another episode on The Extra Mile. My name is Alex and welcome to a comparison episode between Automobilista 2 and Assetto Corsa EVO. Obviously AMS2 is a fully released title and Assetto Corsa EVO is still very early access, but I still think it's a decent idea to compare the two cars. How do they feel? How's the force feedback? How's the sound? How does the track look? And that's what we're going to do today. The two cars are not exactly the same. In this case, in AMS2, we have a 2017 model Cup car, and in EVO, we have a 2023 version, I believe. It might even be 2024. So not precisely the same cars, but similar enough to do a little comparison. So let's get right into it. We will compare how they feel, how the force feedback feels, how they sound, how the track looks, how the visuals are, and just see which one comes up on top. I haven't driven AMS2 in quite a while, and I have not driven the Porsche in EVO yet. So both of these cars will be very, very fresh to me. Alright, here we go. So the visuals are turned up all the way. This is as good as the game can look. Tires are cold, so let's take it easy. There we go. Laguna Seca is always a joy to drive. One of my all-time favorite tracks, so this should be really good fun. I can already tell, even with cold tires, how eager the car is to turn in. Force feedback feels great. Pretty weighty, slightly overshadow egg packs here. But yeah, tires are still cold. Yeah, force feedback, there's a lot going on. I can tell that immediately. Oh, that was a little too close. Yeah, this feels very, very nice. Alright, tires are fully warmed up now. Let's see if we can get a half-decent lap together. I can already tell that you really have to be careful on the brake here in AMS2 to not lock up like I did just there. And I still missed my braking point here a little bit. So managing the braking is really important. Love it, love it. You really have to find the right line with the car, not that one. Missed my apex by quite a bit there. But when you get it right, it's extremely rewarding. But you can tell that this is a proper sim. It's still amazing to me that this uses the same physics engine as Project Cars did. Obviously tweaked and improved by quite a bit. Sounds are very good as well. You can hear the straight cut gears, you can hear that you're sitting in a race car, you can hear what the tires are doing. Come on, come on. Yeah, this is really, really good so far. This will be hard to beat actually. The AMS devs have done a fantastic job and they keep pushing out updates, which I love. The last update they pushed out was just in January. And that is for a game that has been released for quite a while now, which is not what everyone does, let's just put it that way. Braked a little bit too early there, but that's okay. Through the corkscrew, one of the most legendary corners. Dip the front in with the brake pedal there just a little bit. Woo, yes, yes, come on. You can really play with the car at the limit. Alright, let's see if we can get a somewhat decent lap together here. Oh, let's not lock up the tires. There we go, there we go. Modulate the brake pressure, very important here in AMS2. You can't just slam onto the brakes, absolutely not possible. You really have to learn to drive the car at the limit. That goes for steering, braking and throttle, which I love. This is not a point and shoot game. Wait, there we go. Oh, the front turns in so nicely. And of course the rear engine 911 makes it a little bit easier to apply all that juicy power that it has when you get out of a corner. But yeah, the trickiest thing here is to not overdo it on the brake. That is really nice. Come on, come on. There we go. There we go. That was nice. Close to the apex. Love it. And the last braking zone. And floor it. Come on. $128, which is not great. But it's more than enough to get a feeling. I gotta say, AMS never disappoints. The car feels great, it sounds great. The visuals maybe is an area where the game is a little bit dated or shows its age, so to speak. It's not a bad looking game by any means, but I think EVO will look better in comparison. But will it sound better? Will it feel better? Will it be easier or more difficult to drive? Let's find out now, guys. So, and here we are in EVO. I had to go offline because the renting function doesn't seem to work. The rent button is grayed out, but you can go offline, then you can drive all the cars. What I did, because there are several different versions, there are versions here with ABS and traction control. I do not want that, so I went without them. So we should have at least the same feeling in the brake pedal, or at least we should have to pay attention in the same way that we did in AMS2. So yeah, now I'm quite curious actually how different this feels and sounds and looks. ABS, oh, why is ABS on 1? We can't turn it off completely, unfortunately. All right, anyway. Let's drive. So one thing that we have in EVO, ignition, starter. I love that already. All right, let's do this. Oh wow. Oh, this is interesting. The force feedback immediately feels different, much heavier even at lower speeds. Feels better, I gotta say. In AMS2 it kind of took a little bit of speed before the ABS, not the ABS, the force feedback really kicked in. This is interesting. This is so different. Force feedback is very different. Feels, I have to say, a lot better here. There's an equal amount of detail in the wheel from what I can tell. Let's drive over the curbs. Oh yeah, you can feel that. Oh, you can feel that. Rumble strip there. Very interesting. Oh wow, the rumble strip felt great. Wow, the force feedback is so different. I'm a little bit amazed by that. Okay, braking, much easier, much easier. I can already tell. I'm not sure which one is more realistic. Honestly, AMS seemed to be a little bit too sensitive when it comes to locking up. Usually in cars that have a little bit of downforce, when you brake from higher speeds, you can really put down some pressure with the brakes. Whoa! You definitely do not have traction control, but in AMS it seemed to be very, very sensitive to that, even when you were braking from higher speeds. Wow! Wow! The force feedback is amazing in comparison. I mean, AMS was already great, but this is on another level. Holy crap! The visuals at first glance aren't that much different. I mean, it looks better, I think, than AMS did, but it's not a huge difference. The audio, I gotta give that to AMS2. This sounds okay, but a little bit tame. I don't know how else to explain it. This car is definitely easier to drive. Not that that is a bad thing per se, but in AMS there was a lot more going on, especially on the brake. So I know that more difficult doesn't necessarily equal more realistic. I think that has been a misconception for some, at least in sim racing, and in some cases it is true. but not always. So is this more or less realistic than AMS2? I think we would have to ask a racing driver who has driven this car in real life. But what I can say is the force feedback feels quite a bit better. It's just smoother. It's not so... I don't know, it's hard to explain. There's always pressure on the wheel here. And in AMS, the difference between force feedback inputs and no force feedback inputs, the amplitude was higher. So sometimes the wheel was lighter. Here you always have a nice weighty wheel, but you still get the effects from driving over the curbs very clearly actually, and it feels really, really, really good. Very interesting. Force feedback, very clear winner for EVO, I gotta say that. Even though AMS2 was already very, very, very good, the curbs feel perfect in the wheel. It's amazing. It feels just like it does in real life. Obviously, again, I haven't driven a GT3 Cup car, but I have driven on track, and it's a very distinctive feel in the wheel when you're driving over curbs or rumble strips. And the force feedback here in EVO nails that feeling, absolutely. Alright, let's try to go for a half-decent lap here. It's very interesting how different the cars feel in the Sims. Very interesting. Ooh, overshot there a little bit, but that was still okay. Easy on the throttle. And turn in smooth as fast, smooth as fast. The curves feel so good in the wheel. Come on, there we go. Love that, love that. It's hard to say which I actually prefer. I mean, in AMS2 it felt like there was a little bit more going on, a little bit more that you could learn and feel actually. Not that there isn't a lot going on here as well, but it's hard to say which is more fun. Both were fun, that is definitely for sure. There isn't really a bad choice here between the two Sims. A little bit of understeer, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. And nicely done, come on, come on, come on. And turn in. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We're at 128 in... It's pretty much almost exactly the same time, which is interesting. Not a great time, mind you, but very comparable. That was very interesting. I didn't expect them to feel so different. Force feedback, to summarize, force feedback, definitely a pro for Assetto Corsa EVO. It feels very, very good. The curbs feel excellent in the wheel. And generally there's just more weight and more, it's smoother, it's better. Let's put it like it is, it's better. At least to me, in my hands, it feels better than it did in AMS2. Visuals, I think a slight advantage for EVO as well. Not a huge difference, but EVO looks slightly better. And the sounds I would definitely give to AMS2 in this case, although I'm not sure if these are the final engine sounds. We saw an upgrade for the S2000 in the last patch, so who knows, maybe these will upgrade it in the future as well. Ah, yes! But yeah, that was quite a surprising comparison here. If I had to pick one game, and one game only between the two, I think I would go with EVO, mostly because of the force feedback. That difference is huge. And again, the force feedback in AMS2 was great, but this is on another level, literally. Damn, that was cool. Alright, that was quite surprising actually. The cars felt very different. especially on the brake and in the wheel, although I gotta say again that here in Assetto Corsa we unfortunately could not turn off ABS all the way, which probably made a huge difference because you could feel it kicking in. But even without that, I think the brakes would have been easier to modulate here in EVO because you can tell when the ABS kind of does its thing. And it didn't happen that often, or at least I think it would have been easier to modulate here in EVO. Anyway, quite surprising differences. And yeah, this is it for this episode today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.